Jeff, we are here joined by a special guest, Corey Lewis from Pandemic.
You've got that right. Hey, Corey, how you doing?
Yo, yo.
And you brought along with you the PC version of Saboteur.
That's correct. It's actually the Saboteur.
I'm sorry, the Saboteur.
Saboteur, comma, the. In some parts of the world.
Well, let's jump into the action here, Corey.
Cool.
What are we up to, and what's going on in the Saboteur?
Well, it's been since about E3 since you guys saw this. This is Sean Devlin. He's our hero. He's Irish, which means that tells you a lot about him right off the bat.
Hence the Newsies hat.
I'm Irish, and I'm drunk all the time. So.
Exactly. That means he loves Lucky Charms cereal.
Perfect.
How does he feel about Shamrock Shakes?
Only, in the right time of the year.
Of course.
Not anytime.
Good answer.
Man, if I get those year-round,
I
I wouldn't be here.
Really
I would not be here.
What about the
just say that.
McRib?
The McRib he stays away from.
All
He
right,
knows
good.
better. He's a smart
See,
guy.
these are the important character things that you need to know before you get into a game to
Yes.
understand the motivations of your character.
Sean Devlin.
Such as, why is he climbing on top of this chimney?
Well, that has nothing to do with being Irish, actually. That just means he's an agile fellow. But
Okay.
he's Irish, and he was in Germany the night before the German army invaded France. So that's kind of wrong place, wrong time. He gets caught up in that. I won't get into too much spoiler territory, but you guys probably have heard some of the things that go on. But basically, his world gets turned upside down by a specific Nazi general, and who does some unspeakable things to a very close person to him. So you go after this Nazi general. That's the whole point of the game, is to get revenge on this guy. It just so happens that along the way you're going to kill a lot of the Nazi army to do so. But that's kind of like
a nice
bonus.
side benefit.
It's kind of a perk, really, of the game. Yeah, so it's a very personal, intimate story. Obviously, by now you've noticed it's black and white in this part of the world. That means that the Nazis occupy this part of the world in the gameplay. So they're very much heavy Nazi occupation, and they're actually watching you pretty closely. The exclamation point you see on the mini-map down there means a Nazi can see you. So if you start acting up, he's going to pay attention to you. And right now he's not too happy. Hopefully if he plays it cool, he'll just go on his merry way. Or you could take him out if you want to and start some trouble.
Just show him the papers. That's all they ever want to see, right?
That is true. If nobody's looking, you can sneak up behind him and take him out. The civilians will get a little nervous about that, and you probably don't want to hang around them too long. But
they have no love for the Germans, so...
Yeah, exactly. They're not going to question you too much if they see you doing that. So here we're talking to a French resistance member named Bryman, and he's given us some info on a mission that we can accept.
They are dialing the house's coordinates into the siege gun.
So there's a giant siege gun, which is just a huge cannon on top of these Parisian rooftops at the end of this courtyard, and the goal is to go blow it up. So he's going to give you some dynamite, you go on your merry way, and blow this Nazi cannon to smithereens.
Now, about how far into the game would you say this mission takes place?
This is actually kind of advanced. It's about 10 hours or so in. We don't have a hard number on what the overall gameplay experience is, but at this point you should know a lot of mechanics. So we're going to take you through a few of them, but the player would be pretty experienced at this point. First off is the sneaking and the stealth aspect. This isn't really a sneaking game necessarily, but it's an option the player has. So if you want to go in guns blazing, that's up for grabs. If you want to go in and try a little bit the quiet approach, that's totally cool too. So we can see there, we took out this Nazi, and by not using guns, the idea is if you don't shoot bullet holes in the uniform, you can put it on and wear it.
Oh, yeah.
So any type of sneaky attacks like that, as long as a Nazi doesn't see you do it, then you can put on his uniform, and now he's disguised. There's a mechanic there that takes a bit of explaining and getting used to. Down on the bottom left, you'll see the mini-map. If you get too close to a Nazi, they're going to smell the liquor on your breath and figure out you're an Irish dude in a uniform, so they're not going to let you,
Sure.
not going to let that fly. Playing disguise is a lot of fun. It can get you into trouble if your disguise is blown halfway through a mission and you haven't killed anybody, and all of a sudden you're in the middle of a hornet's nest. So for the sake of the demo, we'll get out of disguise at some point here, at whatever point Matt feels like, giving up the gig.
Oh, yeah, we should point out. Matt is driving over there.
Yes, we got a silent observer. So actually, we just tossed our disguise, but obviously you could just start shooting, and the Nazis would blow a whistle. There's a lot of ways to prevent the Nazis from ruining your disguise. They'll blow whistles and try and set off the alarm. If you cut that off and shoot them before they blow the whistle, then you're safe. But the point of the game isn't to really be like another Splinter Cell. We want to basically give the player choices, but not tell them how to attack it.
Oh.
So right now he's kind of charging through the straight line approach. Sean also can, as you saw, he can climb up any building in the game. The space is very vertical. Paris was something that the team really wanted to recreate as it was in and like the team was very inspired by Paris to be a climbing city, a climbable city. It was kind of the home of parkour back in the day.
There's a reason why parkour is a French word, right?
Exactly, and just the rooftops and the ability to jump from roof to roof. So they've really brought that to life in the game, and it actually helps gameplay because the height can be either an advantage or a disadvantage depending on the mission and kind of how it's set up. In this particular mission, it's good in some places. It gets trickier in others. The higher you go up, there's a lot more sniper nests in this particular mission. So you kind of have to be smart about at what point you use it. Here he's grabbing some other weapons. Sean can carry 2 weapons at any point in the game, and there's a whole variety of shotguns, machine guns, RPGs, pistols, sniper rifles, pretty much the weapons of the era that you would expect, as well as some fantastic type of weapons that have taken a little bit of liberties with the history. So you'll have some Nazi weaponry that's kind of, the idea is it's a little bit outside of the realm of realism, but it's still
Is it kind of rooted in some of the occult stuff that people tend to associate with Nazis?
A little bit. Like the idea that they had some advanced technologies that maybe were beyond the rest of the world.
Sure.
So it's good because it's really powerful and it gives you an edge later in the game when you get some of this advanced stuff. Right now he's trying to soften the playing field a little bit up ahead by sniping some key targets. Right now there's a lot of sniper drift on his rifle, but if he takes out a few of these guys, he's going to get a perk that basically gives him a better.
Yeah, I saw that. It was a gunslinger perk earlier.
Yep.
So
so that was one he earned for the machine gun, and you can see in the sniping perk it says he's killed 2 out of 5 dudes with a sniper rifle. So what this does is it allows the player to decide like how they want to level up and then what they want to go after. If they really want to get better at faster dynamite planting speeds, things like that, they can go after these gameplay objectives of using dynamite in creative ways to unlock better abilities.
Cool.
So once he snipes 5 dudes, he's going to get a much steadier sniper scope ability.
So it's all like applicable skill based then?
Yep,
okay.
exactly. And it's not just like, oh, I've reached level 2 and now I get X, Y, and Z.
The idea you're not like spending points. You're just the stuff you use will get better.
Exactly. You're rewarded for the gameplay that you choose to go after. It kind of rewards your style. So here you can see the gun is actually off in the distance there. So we still have a little bit of a ways to go. But again, you could pretty much approach this mission from any way you want. And these sniper towers off in the distance and the sides, these are all part of the persistent open world. So if you had done a lot of free play type, destroying of some of these Nazi targets off in the distance ahead of this mission, they would all already be destroyed as you enter the mission. So it pays to experience the open world and really play around in it and destroy
kind of soften up your targets before you go in.
Do a lot of the free play stuff ahead of time, and then as you get into this part of the world, it's a little bit easier for you. Likewise, there's an entire economy system with the shops and the weapons. So the player at this point would have a huge variety of arsenal of weapons they could go into this mission with. If they wanted to go in with a RPG and start firing rockets from downtown and just trying to take it off that way, that's another option. I'm impressed that Matt hasn't died yet, though, because I won't say he sucks at this game, but he has had some better playthroughs, and this is actually one of them. He seems to be doing pretty good so far. I won't jinx him here, but there's some tougher guys ahead. One guy in particular we call Rocket Dude. Who?
Why would you call him that?
Like what would you say his defining characteristic is?
Well, he's kind of a man's man. He's a real dude.
Got it. So he's a knife fighter then.
Big Elton John fan.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. Kind of like Rocket Man, but more like SoCal.
Got it.
No, he's the designers love this guy. He's kind of he's somebody who, once you figure out pretty quickly that he's in a mission, you take him out first. So for the sake of not ruining the demo, Matt will probably snipe him right away. There he is, grabbing his rocket, and Matt is going to let him fire, which I don't advise. All right, hopefully he got him. That guy has ended many a demo I've given.
Nice.
Like one shot, boom, I'm done. That's it. Time to reboot.
So how long has the game been in development? How long have you been given demos of it? So how long, how many times has Rocket Dude killed someone?
He's pwned me too many times to count. But the game itself has been in development a couple of years now. And we've really just started putting on showing it off for the first time really this year. Right around E3 is when we started giving you guys the first looks. Mainly because it really just started taking its form at that point and really becoming this giant. It's such a massive open world that it's really tough to experience it until a lot of it comes together, all the pieces come together. And so now it's reached that point where even now on the team, a lot of the team, like the engineers, are starting to play it. and experience the whole game from start to finish for the first time.
Right.
They're experiencing things that they didn't even know were in the game because
they've been working on some other part of it for so long, right?
And it's really all fitting together.
I noticed this that rocket shot just then took apart that tower. How much destructibility is there in the environment here?
There's a lot when it comes to the Nazi structures and things like that. Like you're not going to want to. We didn't want the player to be able to just destroy Paris from top to bottom.
Right.
It's not like the Mercenaries experience where you're just going to destroy the entire world and level buildings. But there are a lot of key structures that are Nazi related, as well as you saw, the towers, the fuel tanks.
See, that's how you take apart a crate, Jeff.
Okay, good to know. Someone sent us a crate and we had trouble. Like, how do
you get into a crate? We don't have a gun butt or a crowbar to smash it with.
I ended up using my feet.
Well, dude, that's exactly the
not the scientist.
Yeah, so you take this guy out ahead of time, and or as quickly as possible. It stops the countdown on this timer that they were going to use to. That tells you how long you have to destroy the gun. So now that he's down, you have a little bit more free time to do things like blow up zeppelins and passerby zeppelins. Exactly. There are rewards for doing a lot of the things that you'll see in this demo. Like if you do them consistently enough in the open world, you're rewarded for it, and it's to your advantage to go out and seek those kind of opportunities. So now you can use the dynamite on this final gun here that shows this is one type of dynamite. It's remote dynamite. So he's got a plunger that you can use to detonate over there. But this ends the mission, blows up the cannon, and then this part of the city actually returns from black and white to color at this moment. And then the civilians, the French folks in this part of the world actually will react differently to Sean. They'll help you join the fight against the Nazis.
Nice.
So, of course, to be continued.
Right.
I can't show you everything today, but that's just one look at one mission in the game. There's a ton of missions in the game, big set-piece moments, blowing up zeppelins, raiding castles, the works, that kind of thing.
Right on. Well,
so there's a little taste of the Saboteur.
Yeah. Corey, Matt, thanks for coming by and showing
for
it
sure.
off, dude.
Thanks for letting me sit on your couch, man.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime.
Release date for the Saboteur
is December 8th.
And that's across platforms?
That's cross-platform.
Fantastic.
In North America, I believe December 4th in Europe.
Excellent.
Right on.
Thank you, guys.
Yep. Thanks, man.